In every video that we do, we try to anticipate what questions you guys are going to ask and answer them in the video. But invariably, there's always something that we don't realize is going to be a question, something we didn't think about.
Yeah.
And so whenever that happens, we get about 100 people questioning it or making a suggestion or something. Well, in the video that we just did, we released it yesterday, about building the bunk, we had three unexpected questions. Well, hey everybody, I'm Bill.
And I'm Elizabeth. Live simple.
Live free. And we want to address those three questions because so many people asked. And the first one is, how can you get out of the dinette with the legs of the table in the way? Let me show you. I know you can't see my head, but I'm trying to show you the table. Now this is a cabinet that you haven't seen yet. You'll see that soon. The refrigerator is built in there. But there's the table that everybody was worried about the legs. Well, this table is so light, you just move it over.
And we have plenty of space for our legs between the top of our legs and the table, where it's quite comfortable. And of course we have this raised floor now. And so, I sit quite comfortably, flat-footed in the chair. I can sit back and I'm very comfortable. Let me show you that I can get up. Even if we had stuff on the table, I can get up. Now that raised floor goes out about a foot, so there's plenty of room for the table. Okay, let's just gently move it over. Okay, no big deal. And I get down. So, yep.
See, it's really no big deal.
Yep. So, I'll get back. Yep. In fact, this is actually a little easier than the table we had in the RV, because
in the travel
trailer. The travel trailer, because that table couldn't move, so you just simply had to squeeze in.
Right.
And here, this just lightly moves, and we can put it wherever we need.
Now, a lot of people suggested or wondered why we don't have just the one leg in the middle that you put a post down into the floor. That's the normal way that would happen. You lift it up, you pull the post out, you take this and lay it down to make the bed. That's very difficult for Elizabeth to get that thing up and out.
Yeah, I tried it many times when we had either the hybrid or the other travel trailer. It was very hard for me to do it. It would get kind of jammed, and it's hard for me to have the right leverage to pull it up. Right. And so Bill would usually do it, but I want to know I can do what needs to be done in here. And so this is very, very easy for me.
This table probably weighs 3 pounds.
Yeah, and it seems to be plenty sturdy. I feel like that we can use it also as counter space when we need to. And I'll be working here. Bill's got a little desk area, which I just insisted that he have, but this will be like my work area and editing and stuff like that. It's going to be great.
Some people also suggested that we have a table that's hinged to the wall that we lift up, but this is long enough that if it was going to be down, the hinge would be all the way up here, so when we lift it up, it would be up like that.
Yeah, there just isn't room really on this wall.
Also, the table needs to make the base for the bed.
Yeah.
And so the hinged table wouldn't work at all.
Yeah, in that case it would need to be that center part of the bed.
And speaking of the bed, that was the next question that we had. The part in the center bowed when Elizabeth sat on it, and so many people were concerned that it was going to break or that she was going to fall. And you know what? We didn't even know that it bowed until we saw the video. What I'm saying is, when you sit on it, it doesn't feel like it's bowing. Mm-mm. It doesn't feel like it's dangerous or it's spongy. It just bows a little bit. It's no big deal. It's a it's a ½ plywood, and it just bows slightly when she sits on it. If it ever becomes a problem, I can just switch it out to 3/4 inch or 5/8 inch plywood, and that would take care of it.
Yeah.
But honestly, it's not a problem. Let me show you how the bed goes together, and you'll see what I'm saying.
And when I go ahead then and lay down, then my weight is distributed.
Right.
So I've never felt any insecurity at all with it. So okay.
Also, I want to show you what we do with this table when we fold it up.
This is nifty. no problem moving it over. I got plenty of room.
So let me show you how we put this table away. I realize we haven't shown you this before. Folds down very easily. Now watch this. How's that for out of the way?
I love it.
Go down. You can also see down here where the floor has been raised 4 inches, so that when we sit here, we have the right distance and it's very comfortable. The video that you saw, this wasn't there yet, so we were sitting there with our feet dangling, but now it's up 4 inches, everything is fine.
And it comes out enough that when I get up off the bed, I have a nice size step. And then it's just a very short little step down.
See, the bed ends right here, and then there's another foot that comes out, so she's got something to step on without stumbling. Also, the table comes out to about here, and there's room for the table to move back and forth.
Yep.
Okay, so I mentioned trying to anticipate your questions, and I anticipate that another question will be about the seat belts. You haven't seen them yet. You'll see that in a future video. But, you know, I was a truck driver for many years, and the bunk in the back has a net so that the driver can sleep there safely. We tried to find a net that would work, and we just couldn't find it that would fit in this space. So we put in 2 seat belts so that if Elizabeth is sleeping back here, of course she'll be laying down, but there'll be one that goes across her hip and one that goes across, you know, upper chest, and that should hopefully hold her in if we ever have an accident. It's not the best, but it's certainly better than nothing at all. So that's what that's all about. Now, let me show you the bed. Come a little closer. You see there's a 1x2 on each side right here and over there. And when I pull this out, it just sits right on that 1x2 right there. See that? Now, there's no way that's going to go anywhere. It can't fall, it can't slip. Those 1x2s are glued and screwed, so they're very strong. So when we sit, there's a little bit of a bow right here. But like I said, it's not enough that it feels like it's bowing when you're sitting there. And if it just doesn't work and seems to be a problem, I can replace this and this plywood. They're currently 1/2 inch. I can replace it with 5/8 inch, and that will take care of the bow completely. So I hope that answers your questions there. So many people said we needed to put additional support. It's not necessary, and if it becomes necessary, I'll just put thicker plywood. And the last thing I want to talk about is that many of you suggested that we get some sort of a memory foam topper or something to put on the bed. And that all came out of one offhand little comment that I made. She lay down on the bed and I said, "What do you think?" And she said, "It feels fine." And she said, "What do you think?" And I said, "It's a little firm for me." And then I went on. That one little sentence, "It's a little firm." I had all of these suggestions. Now, here's the thing. It's not my bed, okay? It's her bed, and she's fine with it, just the way it is.
Yeah.
But
you know, we have said before that we try to design in a 2-person bed, and I would either be crawling on my knees from the end in, which is not really very practical, or we would have to somebody crawl over somebody else all the time. And he gets up really early, and he always would feel bad thinking he could wake me up if he had to crawl over me. So we thought, you know what, let's just go ahead and give me a bed down here, and then he's very happy with the loft. It's working out really well. And I think I'm gonna like these cushions, you know. And we have 2 foam toppers that are
in our house.
in the house. We have 2 of them for like a guest bed and for actually we've had it to go on this mattress. And so it's up to Bill whether he wants it up there in the loft. Depends on whether it'll add enough comfort or whether he'd like to have a little bit more space. And then if I would really have to have one down here, we could make it work, but I'd be kind of rolling it up every single day and trying to kind of stick it somewhere. And those foam toppers don't go down very far.
Unless you have one that's only 1 inch thick, and that doesn't do much.
Right.
But if it's going to be 2 or 3 inches thick, this thing is 42 inches wide, and when you roll it up, you're going to have a roll about that big, 42 inches long. we don't have any place for that.
Yeah, I'd have to figure something out. In a real pinch, I guess every day I'd stick it up on Bill's bunk. But to have one thick enough to do some good. But I think ours are 3-inch. It's a kind of a heavy, big piece of foam, and this bed is a changed for daytime compared to nighttime, as you well know. And so I'm so far feel like I'm going to be quite comfortable on these cushions. I slept on cushions like this in the hybrid that we had, and I ordered these very specially. They're not homemade, and this is a good dense foam, and yet it's got kind of a soft top, and I'll be fine. And so, and it's up to Bill whether he wants to foam up on his bed. That's perfectly fine either way. So, you know, if I want to get a hug, I can find him.
She knows where I live.
Yeah, she knows. I know where you live.
So I hope we have answered a few of your questions. And this is actually a real-time video. We filmed it today and we're releasing it today. Even though we've got 3 videos, I think, in between building this and other stuff like that. By the way, a lot of people ask, what about clothes? Those clothes all go in here. But
yeah, you're seeing things that you haven't seen the build video
right.
for yet.
But we had so many people asking those 3 questions that after a while I couldn't type anymore. So if you asked one of those questions, I didn't answer it because I can't type the same thing 150 times.
Right.
So we decided to do the video to explain it.
We decided to go ahead and address it.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah, I love the fact that Bill built this where the back goes like that back. It's comfortable. My feet are flat on the floor, and also we can sit side by side. So if we have guests, you know, there's plenty of room. And so this has ended up being a 42 by 76 inch bed, and it fits beautifully. And now Bill's got a nice. Yours is like 42 by even.
Mine's just a standard size bed. Huh?
Yeah, I think that your platform's a little wider, but anyway, they're comfortable. They're really comfortable. So I'm very happy with it.
Yeah. So peeking around the corner here. Thanks for watching.
Yeah, live simple.
Live free. You be blessed.
Yeah, love you guys, and of course we'll continue to share adventures.
All right. Bye-bye.